Hello everyone, welcome back to Georgia Paper Crafts. I am working with my June 2020 Simon Says Stamp card kit of the month. This is called Beautiful Butterflies. I'm about to just do a quick overview of what you get in this kit, and then we'll get to making some cards. So first of all, we've got this small bottle. This is a 25 ml bottle of the Gina K Iridescent glitter gel, Glitz glitter gel. I have a large one of these, but I haven't used it yet, so I'm looking forward to working with this. We've got these Tim Holtz Idea-ology typography findings, and you get a whole package of this, which has 73 pieces. They're somewhat large, and yeah, dimensional plastic elements that can be altered with inks or paint. All right. Then we've got one stencil here. This is the Simon Says Stamp Butterfly. God, I can't talk today. Sorry. Butterfly Trail 6x6 stencil. And this is very cute with trailing butterflies. We then have one sheet of Tim Holtz Idea-ology clipping stickers. And I'm not sure, when I look at this, I'm not sure there's a lot I can use on a card. I don't know why I would put "she was a strange little girl" on a card. That's kind of odd. Yeah, not sure I'm gonna use this, but okay. I'll put that to the side. And then I've got Simon Says Stamp Beautiful Butterfly 6x8 clear stamp set. Right here. Comes with pretty butterflies, some good sentiments, beautiful friend, thinking of you, long distance hug, a little note. Just like spring, this is your new beginning. I'm proud of you. Can't wait to see how far you fly. Even as the rain pours, I'm here for you. Each day is a new start. So this will be good. It looks like a lot of coloring can be done with some of this. Then we have the 12 double-sided sheets of Simple Stories Simple Vintage Garden 6x8 paper. The one thing I like about this is that you do have some cut-aparts. To me, this makes very simple cards. And that's what I like to use it for. So definitely we'll be doing that. And it looks like you get 2 sheets of that. So it'll be good. And then we've got other pretty pieces that you could probably cut down. Some birds and butterflies. And then we get one sheet of the, let's see. Okay, well, so it says I'm supposed to get cotton candy, slate, ivory, and lemon chiffon. As usual, I did not get a cotton candy. I got a purple. So that's fine, but as usual, something is changed in the kit. So that's what I've got. All right, well, we'll see what kind of cards I can put together with this, and we'll get started.
So starting out, I really wanted to do some ink blending on dark cardstock, especially because I had gotten the new Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink color, Speckled Egg. So that's what you see right here. I'm using Speckled Egg, and I'm just kind of going over some of that butterfly. And I'm going to go over the butterflies with different colors of Distress Oxide inks, as these seem to show up better on, not better, but they seem to show up very well on dark cardstock. And the colors that I'm using are Speckled Egg, Salty Ocean, Broken China, Mermaid Lagoon, Blueprint Sketch, Chip Sapphire, and Evergreen Bow. So once I'm finished applying that, I'm really liking how it looks. I'm going to put a little bit of heat to it just to dry it a little bit. And then I decide to offset it just a touch, just so slightly you barely can see it. And I'm going to bring in some white pigment ink. and go over it just to kind of give it a little bit of a haze. Well, I don't think it did that much there. So then I decided, well, since I did that, let me bring in and try this glitter gel. That's a mouthful. Iridescent glitz glitter gel that we got in the kit. And let me put this over this and see how it looks. Well, it definitely changed the color of the oxides, and I like it, but I'm not sure I am in love with it. So this was a little bit of an experiment for me, and like I say, it turned out okay. It wound up that all the colors just got that light, I don't know, bright color. I liked it better when I just ink blended it without even the white pigment ink. So it's just a good experiment for me. Now, I had started out with a piece of 6x6 paper to do it, and I cut it down here to a 5x5. Initially, I thought I would make it a 5x5 square card. However, eventually I do decide to cut it down to fit onto an A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And you'll see that here in just a minute. But before I do anything like that, I decided I wanted to stamp the Sentiment Beautiful Friend with some embossing ink and coat it with some Brutus Monroe Alabaster white embossing powder, and go ahead and get that heat set. Here I've already cut it down and put some foam adhesive on the back. I'm putting some glue on the foam adhesive as it gives me a few minutes to wiggle it around when I get it in place. So I have that few minutes just to work with that before it totally gets stuck down, and maybe I'm pulling it up when, you know, I got it down wrong. So once I've done with that, I'm bringing in some Pretty Pink Posh Sparkling Clear gems, and I'm just going to scatter them throughout here onto the project. Get them glued down. And that's it for this one. Here's a quick look. So I like the glitter gel. I thought it turned out okay, but maybe not with these colors that I use. As you can see, it did definitely change the color of the ink. All right, so moving on to my second one. I have a piece of black watercolor paper here, and I've heat embossed with clear embossing ink. I have heat embossed the big, large butterfly on here. And initially I was going to use my Karin metallic brush markers just to pull out the color using water. And that's why I use watercolor paper. However, I felt like it dulled it when I tried it. And so I decided just to put the colors down straight onto the paper and go from there. So as you can see, I'm just using the different colors and coloring it in. And I'm going to continue to do that. Now, what you'll see is I actually made 2 of these cards, and you'll see the second one. You won't see me making it, but you will see the finished card after this one, and I just used different colors. I do like how it turned out. The black watercolor paper is nice to work with, obviously very thick, and I need to use it more with some of my metallic watercolor pieces, and I think I'll do more with that in the future. And these Karin brush markers, I think I do like. Still trying to work with them and get a feel for them, but they went on pretty vibrant, and I thought they looked nice. Now here you can see I'm going to go ahead and put that in my MISTI because I want to stamp a sentiment. And the sentiment I chose is Can't Wait to See How Far You Fly. And so part of the reason why I did another one, and you can see that off to the side, is I stamped this one with, well, I stamped it with embossing ink, embossing ink, but I used Ranger platinum embossing powder. I didn't like how that looked. I just feel like it didn't pop off the page. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do another one, because I used the white embossing powder on the second one, and I felt like the sentiment popped a little bit more. So you'll see that one out, like I say, after I do this one. But finishing touches, a little bit of these confetti, rainbow confetti. They're not really sequins, but maybe they are. Rainbow confetti gems or whatever. And this is from I think Pretty Pink Posh. So here is a final look at that card. And here is the other one that I made. So you can kind of see. And I know that went by kind of fast. All right, so moving on to my next card. I wanted to again do some more coloring of the butterflies, and I decided this time I would try to do some no-line watercoloring using my Tombow markers and some water. So here I am working on my waffle flower media mat, and this is a silicone mat, and it seems to grip the paper really well, so it kind of stays in place. And there's little wells off to the side, and I just have a little bit of water that I've squeezed in there, and I'm just picking it up with my brush and lightly going over it, pulling out the color, trying to figure out, you know, how I want this to look. Now I stamped this with antique linen distress ink, and it definitely gave a very dark outline, a little bit darker than I initially wanted, but in the end it turns out okay, and I wind up feeling like you don't see the lines, but you'll be able to kind of see all that. I'm not going to do all of this coloring on screen, but I am going to do the prominent one here, the blue one that I'm going to do. I'll let you see me doing that, and then I'm going to color the other two. One of them will be in a purple and one will be in a pink. I really do like how this turned out, but I have to tell you, I have found that I really enjoy these Tombow markers. I feel like they give great vibrant color, especially when using them just to watercolor. They're easy to use, they spread easily, and I would encourage anybody to try it. I mean, to me, these are very similar to the Zig Clean Color Real Brush markers in that respect, that they you know, can be used with water, or you can use them just on their own, and they give a very nice, vibrant color. I did not write down the specific colors that I'm using as far as the specific numbers of the Tombow marker that I'm using. I apologize, I didn't even think about it while I was doing this, and of course I had put them up, and by the time of course I'm doing this, I've already, I don't know what it is, so I apologize about that. I'll try to be better with that moving forward. So as you see, I'm just kind of going through and laying down just kind of a little line of color, and then coming in and doing a little bit of shadowing. And what I do realize pretty quickly is that I do like the way it looks, but I don't think it looks vibrant enough. So I will come in with a darker blue here, and you'll see that in a few minutes. I'll come in with a darker blue, and I will just add a little bit of oomph to it along, you know, the darker edges of the wing and stuff. I am working on Bristol Smooth watercolor paper. It is not watercolor paper. That's the key. It's Bristol Smooth cardstock, which blends these markers and Zig Clean Color brush markers excellent. However, it is not a watercolor paper, so therefore you cannot use a ton of water on it. You do have to be cautious when using this paper, because again, it's not used to absorbing that much. So as you can see here, I'm just using light dabs of water here and there, and that's why I don't really have any problems with the paper curling or peeling or anything like that while I'm using it, while I'm painting. But I personally don't like using these markers on watercolor paper because for some reason I don't get a good blend. Again, it's something about the paper. I don't know what it is, but that's what I have found. So personally, I will take the risk of, you know, the color kind of, you know, I'll just be very cautious with how much water I use when doing this, because I definitely want to use my Bristol Smooth cardstock. All right, so here we've moved on. You see, I finished my purple and pink flower. I'm just going on the outside of each, and I'll be outlining with the lightest color in that family. So here is a light blue. Others will be a light purple and a light pink. And once I am finished with that, I decided that I need a little bit more because I feel like there's too much white space here. So I decide once all this is done, I will bring in the stencil. And I'm going to go over it and just used it as a template for these dots and just kind of, you know, fill in using different colors in blue, pink, and purple, these dots, you know, to kind of pull the butterflies together here. And you'll see that. Put a few on the sides. And after I use my markers to put those on, I'll definitely use just a touch of water just to help pull those out too. And you'll see that in just a second. There we go, and I'll just kind of pull all of that out. Now this card, this piece measures A2 size, 4.5 or 4 1/4 by 5.5, but I'm going to cut it down just a touch because I do like to have a little bit of a white border around my image. So I'm going to cut it down just a touch here. Now off camera, well, let me start by saying I'm adding this to a blue note card. This is a note card that I made out of some paper from my stash. I don't know where it's from, it just happens to be in my stash somewhere. So I made an A2 size note card, and I'm putting a off-white piece on the inside to write my message. Now, off camera, I went ahead and heat embossed some images, not images, but some sentiments. And I've got this thinking of you, and I also have the beautiful friend. I decided I would use the thinking of you, and I'm using some foam adhesive to pop that up on the front. Now, I also, of course, can't leave this without putting some bling on there, so I brought in some different color gems from Pretty Pink Posh in blue, pink, and purple, and I scattered them along the dots on the card. And here's the final images of that. Okay, moving on. So again, I wanted to use the butterflies. There's not much else to use in this kit. So I'm taking the butterflies, just kind of putting them out, as many as I can get. And this time I want to try to heat emboss with this new Brutus Monroe, or new to me, Brutus Monroe foil reactive embossing powder. So I am putting this on. I'm going to heat emboss or heat set it. I'm going to take it to my ink machine with some pieces of foil, and I'm going to see how this works. So here you see me putting it in the ink machine on setting 3. I probably should have done 4 now that I think about it. And then I will also show you how it looks here. So some of them turned out beautifully, but some of them didn't turn out as well, and maybe because I didn't have a good impression from my embossing or whatever. So what I did was I took all of these, I did another set off camera. You don't see that. I did another set and I cut all of them out. And the other thing that I did was I took the negative of the pieces of foil that I used, and I turned around and put that on a black thermoweb foil or black toner paper, and I used the negative part of the butterfly image to make another one. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a second. So back to the card, I am using the slate gray cardstock that came in the kit. And here I'm heat embossing it using Ranger's platinum ink. And I, again, don't think this shows up very well, so you'll see me make another card also because I didn't want to not use all of these butterflies that I use. So the ones that I'm talking about I use with the negative space are right here, the black ones. You can see the black, and then you see the gold or silver or whatever color I used wings. That's the one I put the negative. I used with the negative image. And I hope you understand what I'm talking about when I'm saying this. I'm sorry I didn't show it, but I will do something on that next time. So I decided one more time, I didn't like the use of white embossing powder, so I'm going to do it here. And actually it was this card that I used the white embossing powder, not the first one. So the first one I used the Ranger Platinum embossing powder for both cards. This one I used one platinum embossing powder, and this one's the white one. I embossed it. Gosh, I really can't talk today. I'm so sorry. I embossed the sentiment, and then I am cutting down some pattern paper that I'm going to use just to help frame this up. You can see here. I'm going to go ahead and adhere those onto the card base. Again, all my card bases are A2 size, heavyweight white card stock bases that I have pre-made prior to starting to make the cards. I make 10 ahead of time. Put those on each side. Then I'm going to use some foam adhesive and adhere the slate cardstock straight down onto the card base. And I'm going to fiddle around with the placement of some of my flowers here. So I'm going to use this big purple one. I decided I thought it needed a little bit of foam adhesive on the side there, and then I just kind of didn't like the way it laid, so fiddled with it a little bit more. Then I'm going to do the rainbow butterfly here, and then I'll do one more below the sentiment. I'm trying to decide which one I like the best, and here I like the one that I did with the black. So here are some jewels. This is actually a Halloween collection of jewels from Pretty Pink Plush. This is called the Boo collection, and I thought it went well because it has some black, purple, and green. So I'm bringing that in and just spreading it around. Now, what you will also see, like I said, is I made a second card, and you'll see that in just a second. I did that off screen, and you'll see that I used the rest of the butterflies that I had foiled and cut out. So there you go. Same sentiment, same kind of setup, except for I did not frame it with some pattern paper. All right, now I'm moving on to my use of the pattern paper. Here I use an Ariel die set, which cuts out the scallop edge and then also the inner rectangle, and I cut that out of the pattern paper. This is very easy because I just took the whole pattern paper with the floral wreath with the sentiment, and I'm using it and popping it up on the gold glitter cardstock. And this says, "Today is the day." I'm going to go around the flowers with my glitter, Nouveau glitter brush pen, shimmer pen, I guess I should say. And bring in some more gems. Again, this is the clear gems from Pretty Pink Posh, the sparkling clear gems. Scatter them throughout. And once I get them adhered, that'll be it for this card. Now, this set did have a bunch of cut aparts, and I had previously off camera cut all of those apart. So off to the side I have those, and I'm going to decide which one to use with this. Here I cut down this pattern paper, and I just wanted that floral image. On the other side is this pink butterfly. So I flipped the pattern paper over and used the pink butterfly side, and I'm going to adhere that down, straight down to my card base here, and trim off the excess. I'm going to add that little sliver of piece with the flower and the butterflies. And then I'm going to put a piece of this rose gold peel off, sorry, peel off from Love from Lizzie, just to help frame that up. I'm going to back this cut apart with some pink cardstock, and this says Thankful for You. Bring in some pink, dark pink, and light pink gems from Pretty Pink Posh. Scatter them throughout. And then that'll be it for this card. Here's the final look. Nice and easy. Sometimes when you have really good pattern paper, that's all you need to make a nice card. Here's another one. So just kind of putting together pieces of pattern paper. This one says Thinking of You. With a bird, just gonna adhere that down, put some more gems, and that's another quick and easy card. Very similar to the other one. Just cut different piece of pattern paper, and they all match, not match, but they go together, so put them together. Quick and simple. Here's another one. I'm using some green cardstock from my stash. Again, I don't know where it's from. I just found it in my stash. I'm going to use some pattern paper with the butterflies. Use that rose gold peel off from Love from Lizzie. I'm going to attach that to the card base, white card base. And then I've got the cut apart that I used, that I had framed using the same green paper. This one says, Do Everything with Love. I'm going to, of course, bring in my shimmer pen to go around the flowers. And I put some gems, some yellow and green gems. So now I am using some more pattern paper. Again, all of these are going to be the same. Pattern paper in different positions, and just kind of adding some base layers with the colored cardstock. And then I'm going to use some more cut apart. So I actually cut apart some of the pattern paper. I used the pattern paper here with these flowers. I used the big tulip, kind of cut around it. And then I cut out this sentiment from the cut apart that says Live, Love, Laugh. And I didn't want the rest of the cut apart. I just wanted the sentiment. And so that's why I kind of did it like this. And that way I can kind of frame it up a little bit better. And I also cut out some butterflies from the pattern paper. And I'm just going to adhere them along the sides. There we go, and bring in some more gems. Again, I'm using light and dark green gems along with some yellow gems. Again, I have all of these in a big container. I believe they're from Pretty Pink Posh. I can't be 100% certain, but I do know that majority of my gems are from there, so that's why I say that. I'm going to adhere that straight down onto the pre-made card base and do the gems and go from there. Easy, simple card that kind of is very stunning in my opinion. Here's a final look at that. Then one final card, I don't know if it's the final card, but one of the last cards that I've worked on here is another piece that I'm using just some pattern paper. And again, adhering different pieces of pattern paper and in, you know, different ways, and bringing in some more peel-off stickers from Love from Lizzie. These are some green glitter. It's hard to see, but it's a light green, almost a mint green glitter color, just to frame up that edge right there. And again, this is all on a yellow piece of cardstock. I'm going to use this cut apart sentiment that I did with the rose that says "Live for Today." I'm going to adhere it all to the card base. Again, use some gems to finish it off. Alright, so I got so caught up in doing all of these with the pattern paper, I actually made more than I planned. So I have a total of 11 cards that I made, plus the 2 extra that I showed at the beginning. So I actually have 13 cards out of all of this. So yeah. So anyway, I'm showing you here how I made this extra one. This is it's got the bird pattern paper. I framed that up using the cut aparts or peel aparts from Love from Lizzie. I'm going to use the sentiment or the cut apart here that's with the bird that says "You are the bestest." Just going to put that on there. Use some gems, and that's another quick and simple card. I don't have a still photo of this, and I'm not sure why I forgot to do that, but I don't believe I have that. So here's a look at all of the cards I made. Obviously you can see that I made a ton from the pattern paper, and that's the thing that I like. If you watch any of my videos, you know pattern paper is the easiest thing to make cards, and you can make a lot of them very quickly. So I hope I've given you some inspiration today for using this kit. I hope that you have enjoyed watching this video, and I'd love to know which card was your favorite. I hope that you will stop by again and see more videos from Georgia Paper Craft. Thank you so much. Take care.